everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm doing a video on making a gel plate creation using Posca pens, and we are going to have some fun. My inspiration for this creation is really botanicals. So I'm looking around the room and trying to find some ideas of what I want to create, and what I see around me are succulents, so that's what we're going to make today. So as you will see, I have a whole bunch of different Posca pens. I have thick ones, I have thin ones, I have all different sizes. And really it's just trying to find out which one I'm going to use. I am using my gel plate, and as you can see, it is not super clean, but actually that's the way I like it. Sometimes I like some coloring to come off from previous pulls. So that's what you will see. And as we go along in the video, you will also notice that I kept the plastic backing on the back of my gel plate from when I first bought it. So I keep that on there just so it's easier for me to lift it if I'm doing lifting techniques and putting it onto an art journal like I'm going to be doing today. When I'm using my other side of the gel plate, I just remove it and then I will put it on the other side or whatnot. I just find it's easier to lift it. A lot of my gel plate creations, I actually put the paper onto the gel plate to do it that way. But in this case, I will, as you will see down the road, be doing it the opposite. So right now, I am just making some flowers in different bits using my purple Posca pen. And it's a mid-size. I can actually put which size I used in the description below. But it's a mid-size pen. It's not fine tip and it's not thick. And like I said, I'm getting inspiration from the succulents in my room and also a magazine I had that was sitting right there. I don't do a lot of voiceover, so bear with me. Most of the time I'm talking during my videos, but I thought I'd do the voiceover today. A lot of the times when I'm creating my videos, I'm listening to very loud music, of which that can't be in the videos. So I figured it's easier this way just to do a voiceover so I can listen to my music and help me get into the mood of when I create. So sometimes that's what I do. And sometimes if you see music or you hear music in a video, that's probably why, because I was listening to some really loud music when I made the video. So with this one, I love doing gel plating. It's a lot of fun. There's so many different things you can do. And I will be doing some more videos with gel plates. But if you want some other inspiration, if you're a gel plate maker or getting into making with gel plates, I highly recommend my friend Devin Rex for Art. And I will put the description and link of her channel down below, so you can check her out if you haven't done so already. This gel plate I'm using here is an 8x10 gel plate. And I have multiple different sizes, but that's just the size I used for this one. And what I thought maybe I could do down the road, because I am making a background and I will be adding different things to it, is possibly doing an under the sea type thing, maybe using some Lavinia stamps or some images I cut out and put onto the backdrop. It's really hard to say yet because it is creation in the works. So if you want to see what the final creation is going to be like once I start adding to it, you want to make sure you hit that subscribe and hit the like and the all notifications so you get all of my videos as they come up. I don't just make gel plates for those of you that are watching my channel right now. A lot of my creations are also, primarily I do a lot of junk journals and a lot of other things. I do scrapbooking products, how to make different layouts using the same scrapbook products but making 3 different layouts. I do a whole bunch of different things, so you might want to check out my channel and the different playlists to see some of the videos and some of the stuff I create and the different content. So with this creation I'm making now, I'm just trying to do a lot of filler as well, because you don't want just a whole bunch of different plants. So there is a lot of filler that's going to be going into the creation. And those are a whole bunch of like little circular beads. And I'm going to, I thought at first I would switch over to a red Posca And I'm like, no, that's just not going to work for me. And I thought green. I'm like, no, that's not going to work too, because I knew what colors I was going to use for my paint backdrop. So yeah, I thought maybe black. And I thought, no, that might stand out too much. So I started and then changed my mind. I'm like, no, I will just stick with purple. Purple will work. So that's kind of where I was with this, and just using my purple. And I just kept creating. And I have it right now on the regular, I believe it's on the same speed. I don't remember if I actually sped it up. I can't remember. But as you're watching this, I was coming up with the idea at the same time. I do the odd Posca creation with my gel plates, but it's not what I mostly do. A lot of it is making backdrops with paints and that kind of thing to either make a card or make a backdrop for other things I'm creating, and adding different textures and different pictures on the outside. So that's primarily what I use my backdrop for, or my gel plate for, but there's so many different things you can use it for. And I highly recommend checking out a lot of the different channels on YouTube to see some of different things that you can make with your gel plate, because there's so many different things you can use it for. I just cover a few of the things, but I recommend checking out more down the road of the stuff I'm going to use with my gel plate, because I will be using it more coming up. Just, yeah, working with me and creating with me. So tell me in the comments below, how much do you use your gel plate? And what are your favorite things to do with your gel plate? I would love to hear from you, because I'm always trying to come up with different ideas as well. I just find it so much fun, and it's so liberating, just the things you can do. Even just using paint on a gel plate, there's so many different variations and things you can use. And I love just, getting my computer paper and putting that on there and pulling and just coming up with a whole bunch of different backdrops. It's so much fun and very addictive. Who are we kidding? For those of you that have done it, it's very addictive. Once you start, you keep going and going, and you just keep creating. So now I am just trying to fill some more spaces. I'm doing long flowers and filling just different little holes and spaces in there, and filling in some of the flowers with some lines. And it's just, I have so much fun creating like this. It's a lot of fun. And Posca pens are a great way to use these. There's so many different things you can use with Posca pens. Again, just filling in. So I hope a lot of you are coming up with some creative ideas and different things. YouTube is great for coming up with some different ideas for your creations. And I love checking out everybody's channels. If there's a channel that you have, make sure you send me an email and let me know so I can check it out. My email is createandplaywithrenee@gmail.com. I would love to check out your channel. Very cool. I love doing all this. It's just, art is so much fun, and it's so great to just sometimes get out of your comfort zone and create from the heart, and it's so good for the soul. I have to set out multiple days during the week if I can to try to just create, because sometimes you get lost in your everyday, and it's just a way to break free of that. So I'm almost done here. Filling it up, filling up the empty space. You can leave blank space. I just thought for this and just showing you, it would be fun to try and fill it up as much as I can. I'm usually a less is more kind of gal, but in this case, I broke that mold and I went opposite. So filling up the space, and then I just started doing dots. Filling in the dot space, and then I'm almost done this part, and then that's when we start moving on to putting the backdrop on. So for all of you that have done gel plates before, you already know this, but basically what you're doing is you're working backwards. So on the gel plate, me just doing that pen, that will be the top part because it goes backwards. Here I am using Dylusions plates. Dylusions I find work great with this, or you could use Liquitex or whatever you have. This is great with this one. Dylusions just, they have a lot of color and a lot of vibrancy, so that's primarily why I use them for this one. So I'm using a bunch of greens, and I will be using some blues, and I'm putting just a light layer on there, and you can see the image really pop through with the light green. I'm using a speedball brayer for my brayer. It's a pretty good one, I really like it. So now I'm going to add the light blue, and again I'm using all Dylusions paints, so you can probably find those in most of your scrapbook stores. So I'm just adding it there. Just use your brayer, just go lightly on the gel plate, and it works great. I'm trying really hard not to get lines when I'm using my brayer, but this is not my last layer of paint, so yeah. So you're slowly starting to see your image fade away into the paint because you're adding different layers. Now I'm adding a darker blue. This one at times was a little runny, so I had to shake it a few times. So I'm going to add that blue. And again, you will see when you do your pull, just the different layers that come through. I'm going to add a little bit more because it was kind of runny. And you can see lines kind of coming through with the brayer. I'm just kind of aware of that so I can try and fix it. Adding some more paint. Now I'm going to add a very vibrant green. I believe this is cut grass, or I don't know. I will have the colors I used listed in the video. I did use some really fun colors from Dylusions. So yeah, Diane Reevely always has amazing colors in her palette. So there we go. Try and get those lines worked out. All right. So that is done. So now I'm going to lift it up, and this is where I find it's easier because I have the plastic background on, or like the plastic that came with it when I bought it. Lifting it up, and I'm putting my journal down. And I don't normally do it this way. I normally put the paper on top of the gel plate. But in this case, I'm flipping it. So just trying to center it out because I'm going to put it on the right-hand side of the art journal. And this is a larger art journal, so my paper is going to be larger than the image. So I just press down firmly to make sure you get the whole image down. And normally what you would normally do is let your paint dry a little bit more, but I intentionally chose not to because I plan on getting multiple pulls from our print that we created on our gel plate. But otherwise you would want your paint to dry a little bit more. I didn't let mine dry for very long. So we're pulling that up, and as you can see on the gel plate a little bit, there's still that image there, because I'm going to put the image on the page next to it, and that's what we're doing now. So there's our image, it's still there, and we're going to add some more paint. And honestly, after I did this next pull and put it onto the art journal, I did another probably 5 or 6 pulls using that same image until it was gone, just on blue computer paper, and it turned out really cool, and I will show you some pictures of that. And I will have one on my excuse me, on my Instagram. So we're adding some green. Some of the colors might have been slightly different, but I was going for that a little bit. Adding the blue. I thought if it's not, you know, just a nature type of picture with flowers, I could also always do an under the sea. So that was kind of my thinking on this one. And there we go, adding the color. And then I thought, is this done? Is it not done? No, maybe it needs more paint. So then I added the blue. And this was the runny blue before. Add the darker green. So I tried to stay, for the most part, within the same color palette that we used the first time. Yeah, and just mixing it up. And it's a lot of fun. That's primarily why I wanted to do just 2 pulls using the same image, just to show you you can. So like it says, we're adding the second one onto the first. So you really have to be careful when you're lining it up that you get it onto just that one page and you don't line it up onto your other creation. So I'm grabbing that plastic bit, I'm holding onto the gel plate and popping it down. You could have flipped it backwards too and had it upside down compared to where your image was before. That would have worked as well, but I went for the same positioning that I did previously. Again, you press on, you apply some pressure, and then you lift off. And you will see there's not as much as there was in the first one because it's slowly really, removing each level. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. Make sure to check out my other videos and make sure to subscribe.